What's up, everybody? Ron Placone here. Got some shows coming up. May 23rd, Seattle, Washington. Have not been to Seattle in a while. Cannot wait to see you. And in June, we are going to be at the Hollywood Fringe Festival with my new play, Termination Fee, which is a scathing commentary on the American healthcare system. Termination Fee features myself, Andrew Saxena, and Sarah K. Godot, and it is being produced in collaboration with Fringe Management and Plaque One Productions. The dates on that, June 8th, June 16th, June 21st, June 24th, and June 29th. That's at the Black Box Theater at the Broadwater. Wonderful, wonderful theater in Hollywood. You can get tickets and all information at ronplacone.com. And we're going to be making a feature film out of Termination Fee as well. So I'm really excited about this project. Can't wait for you to see it. Tickets and all information, again, ronplacone.com. What's up, everybody? The wait is finally over and totally over. Left at Wall is available now, right now. You can get Left at Wall on Apple TV, Google Play, YouTube Movies. You can get it on demand. You can buy it on DVD. The wait is totally over. Just type in Left at Wall on your search bar on your smart TV, and you can find a bunch of ways to get it. You can watch it now. Again, that's Left at Wall, wherever you get your movies. Episode 86, Joslyn Sky. Joslyn Sky is a singer, musician, and speaker. She has retinitis pigmentosa, or RP for short. This is a disease that causes progressive damage to the retina and often leads to limited vision or blindness. I saw Joslyn perform and wanted to know her story. She uses her condition to educate others and to create. We get into everything from religion to philosophy to politics. We have some different points of view, which, hey, it'd be boring if we didn't. Please welcome to the show, Joslyn Sky. Joslyn Sky, how are you? Good to see you.
I am amazing today. How are you? Happy Monday.
Oh, thank you. Yes, yeah, we're recording this on a Monday, and yeah, I'm doing well. I'm doing pretty well. It's so I want to get into a bunch of stuff here, but I think to start out, so tell me about your condition.
Yes, I have a progressive eye condition that was hereditary called retinitis pigmentosa. And the small acronym for it is RP. And it caused a genetic mutation in my right eye where I have a blind line. And it covers half the world. I could see an outline of people's bodies, but I can't see your full face. I could see like your eye. And in my left eye, I've always discovered that I can see with my left eye. I could see people's faces in my face. Though I had night blindness growing up with the disease, with black dots behind our eyes, which a scientific word would just be like no light receptors in her eyes she was born with. So that was on my peripherals. I didn't really notice anything because I don't have another body to compare and contrast. But I do have a twin brother, and I had friends and family, and I've asked them, hey, does anybody have a blind line in their eye? And everybody looked at me like I'm crazy. What are you talking about? A blind line? Yeah, right. And yeah, it's just something that I had to really discover about myself, like through time, through the years. Nobody really told me of like vision impaired. I just know I was blind, like I was blind and going, and nobody told me about low vision either. I just knew I see with one eye. So it's like I was also like wasn't diagnosed until like I knew about around 15, 16 when about to start driving. But I didn't really fully get like legally diagnosed and really took the resources that I needed to until around like 2016, which is around like 21 years old.
So
and now I'm 30. I'm 30 now.
Okay.
And yeah.
So did you have this your whole life, though?
Yes, I was born with the line.
Okay, so it's always been there. Like, it's not like it was there, but you didn't notice until later. Like, you've always been aware of it.
I've noticed it when I was younger. Like I've noticed like I didn't understand why I couldn't see like the rest of the kids at night. I didn't understand why I would fall into ditches or run into trees, or in 5th grade I would ride bikes at night and then I would hit a sign after my friend had passed the sign, and she would wonder, why didn't you pass it? Like I just passed it.
Mm-hmm.
So I wouldn't see things, like things would just show up out of nowhere. So I didn't realize I was seeing differently. And I wasn't like I was misdiagnosed from doctors. Like they seen this blind line because I've always had it. I've always had it since I can remember. And nobody's have ever said anything about my blind line until I had two female doctors around 15, 16. They had their second opinions, and then they had taken me to a retina specialist because they weren't suitable for what I had. But yeah,
so what did they think it was? What did they think it was before?
Oh yeah, all these doctors were so like uneducated. I went to Florida, I went to New York, I went to Georgia, I went to California. I went to all these doctors that had no idea. Like I was already legally like diagnosed because of my permanent disability and to be watched and monitored with my last seeing eye. So other doctors would see me and think, oh, like you're not, like you shouldn't have disability, like you shouldn't be disabled, like, which is not true. I'm like, it's very inaccurate, like very uneducated of what I have and like what they're talking about. They were trying to tell me I had a detachment, which in my genetic testing that we already had done, I knew I didn't have a detachment because my eyes were fully healthy and intact, even though I'm blind and going and I see differently. I have full healthy eyes. I have genetic, I have genes where I have like a good eye muscle movement. I've seen it in my genes. I've read it in my genes. I didn't even know that was a thing. I've seen that I've had retina detachment in my genetic testing, but it's not activated. So anyway, I've seen I had RP in my genes, retinitis pigmentosa, which is a blind disease. I've also seen that I have kidney things in my genes, but is not activated. So every time they try to tell me things that they thought they knew, I already knew that they didn't know what they were talking about, because every human is different. And so in science, like science is simple, but life is very complex. So it would really hurt my feelings down to my core that they would like make me feel like as if though I was lying about who I was, like about what I am and what I have, or not giving me the proper diagnosis or proper care, because I know people that see with two eyes with their blind condition, glaucoma, retinitis pigmentosa, Stargardt's, whatever it is. I know that they start their treatment. I didn't even get to start my treatment until I had more vision loss near my last seeing center.
Wow.
I already had vision loss around my peripherals and in the middle one of my eyes, in a perfect line, which I think is like a symbol or something, or like a hey, don't come here, or like it's a symbolism of like the circle with the line in it, like don't come here. That's what that looks like to me. And yeah, I had to educate doctors. I realized that I was the teacher. I'm the teacher. Like I could see what I see. Like like right now I'm looking at this right here, like myself, like in the little square. I'm looking at myself.
Yeah.
Like, you're blocked. You're blocked.
I'm blocked. You don't see me.
I don't. I know that you're there because my mind already seen you. I have you also in your third eye. I know that you're there, but I have lights and darkness, like electricity on the sides, and then down here too as well. So yeah, but I could still see that my TV's there, my light's there, but there's parts of my eyes that are electrical, and that's my perception, and I get to share that with people. And then somebody told me it was a gift, and I do believe that it's a gift, and I keep on praying. I hold my center eye to see me and see you and scan my eye, but I'm not going to be ungrateful for what I have. And I think it's torturous to like I know like yes, God heals, but there's reasons why the world's designed this way, and that we're designed this way. Like we have to have remorse and self-reflection and to know how to, become more decent human beings than the monsters that we've shown to be. I think that having blind people and deaf people, disabled people, is a different colored people, rich, poor, all of that is all designed to create the beauty of it doesn't matter what you have. It just matters about what you do with it. and the attitude. You know, we all have crazy cards we're dealt with, like how you grew up. I'm sure our parents' generations were not good. We're not taught right, you know, and it was all negative. So trying to take back, you know, how humans can be, no matter what you have, to turn it into a positive social change and, you know, take back your narrative and make your heaven on earth, no matter what is the circumstance. You could create your conditions in your mind, and your well-being starts within here.
Yeah. All right. I feel like you answered a bunch of questions in one there, but but thank you.
I do spill off a little bit because I do spill off a little bit. So stop
It's
me.
okay. No. It's totally okay. I was I was joking around, but yeah, no, it's totally
you're
good.
good. No, I know you're good, but I'm like, I do really do spill off because I have so much to say about like being vision impaired, low vision, and blind. I discovered who I was around age 30 because I also stepped around 29. But I really stepped into my purpose, you know, and I'm like, oh, everybody steps into their purpose around 30, I guess. So, and you could have multiple purposes, like 2 or 3, but yeah.
I think so. I think that, yeah, usually 30 is a benchmark where you kind of completed another lap around the track, so to speak, and you're a little bit wiser than you were. But
Yeah.
I feel like, well, I don't know. I think that the search for purpose is kind of an ever evolving thing, that we're never completely at a finish line. Would you agree with that?
Yes, I agree that we're never at a finish line. I believe like we should complete all of our chapters down here on Earth, and that we're here to like, you know, there are distractions down here, but they're also like in good reason, you know, like it's good to you know, dive into your darkness or dive into your different parts of you to see what you want to become and what you're truly supposed to be. You know, we're supposed to like really have our spiritual awakening, and also combined it with practical groundingness and skill, you know, not to forget the reality, no, but also to know that the spirit world works within the physical. So it doesn't, we're here as a classroom down here on Earth, to just become better. When we just do nothing, walking or cleaning, whatever, just sitting, standing, you're already grasping wisdom inside of your body, inside of your temple. I think people don't understand that. And then you're also understanding yourself. When you understand yourself, you understand humanity better. The longer that we're down here, the better that we can make it more of a heaven on earth and more of like a positive social change instead of the craziness that was. But I know that it's also a contradiction as well, because it's designed to be this way so that we could find like to make the good humans, or to find the good humans within good, negative, evil. But even when we get to the spirit world, that's another life. It's a different kind of world, just like from being sighted to blind. Like it's just a different kind of world. It's
well, what do you think that world is? Like what do you think happens when we die?
Oh, the spirit world?
Yeah.
Yes. Well, so I like to say I have mentors like Dave Steele, the blind poet, for the blind community, RP, as well as mentors for the spiritual community, Matt Frazier, psychic medium. So I learn a lot from him, and I learn a lot from just Gaia channel, the network Gaia. It really proves in science and spirituality to become. But I believe that there's a life review of what I've learned of my theory, that there's a life review when we get there. You do have like celebrations, like all heaven is about celebrations, guidance, inspiration, motivation. They want you to be your authentic self and don't listen to anything, you know, self-doubtful. When you get to your life review, you see everybody that you've helped, everybody that you've hurt. You see what it done to them. You've seen your parents, your friends, your pets. You see why you chosen them and why they've chosen you. Your pets talk to you telepathically in heaven. So do people. That's what we have, telepathic connections. Me and my twin brother, I know that telepathy is real. I know that it's real because me and my twin brother have done it when we were younger. And then I've learned that you do that in
Yeah,
heaven.
they say twins can do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that. Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
Yeah, it is. It is, but it's not just twins though. It's only because we have this connection, right? We already had this connection through heaven, but everybody has the phone line to heaven. We all do. We're from there, and we're just trying to discover who we are and also become our authentic selves down here, without anybody gaslighting us or like any doubts or any like negativity. You're just supposed to show who you are because that's what heaven is like. And so when we get up there, yeah, which it is cool. And we used to do like dreams and stuff too. Like we'll sleep at this like different rooms with the same way, my mom would say, me and my twin brother back in the day. But when we come to the spirit world, yeah, like that's how they do it too. That's how God speaks to us. That's how your guides, we all have assigned guardians and spirit guides here on earth. I make sure that I connect with my guardians and my spirit guides and my angels because they help me navigate not only my world out here and everything that comes with it to, you know, get to the finish line, right? To finish whatever chapters. I may finish up to 70 years old, 80 years old, 100 years old, you know? I don't really want to go up to 100. I don't want to just do like around 80, 90.
You
just,
don't?
you know, just no, I didn't know 100.
I'd love to make it that long.
The
world is a big, interesting place. I want to be here as long as I can.
As long as I'm not so blind, as long as I still have my left eye, I'm okay and I'm healthy.
All
I
right.
can still like come out. I'll do it. But if I'm like, if it's just going down, like just take me
I'm
out.
saying health dependent. Yeah. As long as I'm, you know, still reasonably with it, I'd love to be around for that long. I mean, if I'm like really ill and it's,
you're right.
then that's different, but yeah.
You're right. It's a privilege to be human. It's a privilege. And that's why I think it is a privilege, like to get to like whatever finish line we have, because we're all in different stages, different levels, no matter what age you are. I'm telling you, there's kids that are probably younger than me that know, like, that are just more wise. And maybe because now these generations are just better at like teaching their kids down the road, right, of what they've learned, you know. But yeah, the spirit world is not a place. It's an energetic field. That's why we down here, it's like we're trying to fight the darkness. Like down here, we're trying to fight the darkness with our light. We're trying to fight with our creativity, with our music, with our art, with whatever we love to do. If you like making cars, you make cars, you know, do what makes you happy. If you want to be a content creator, girl, you're not hurting anybody. You're not hurting nobody else, but you're doing something. You're happy. You're shining in your little fishbowl. You freaking go shine in your little fishbowl. Like, because nobody's hurting you. But when people want to come, you know, that's the negative. Those are the negatives. When the people want to come and down and hate, and this comes back to the spirit world, I'm telling you, but it's just a lot. But that's the negative. There's people that are like killing, raping, whatever. That's evil, right? They're evil to the core. Okay, so then let's get to the spirit world now. So then we go to the spirit world. Now there's all these jobs, all these divine jobs, and they're probably brushing you up. You're probably in limbo. You're in a waiting room because you probably, you know, have to get all this access off so that you're just left with your essence. That's what we are doing too. We're getting all this access off until we're left with our essence, because we're all like, then we start, when you get older, you start getting more emotional maturity. You start understanding, okay, I want to eat right. I want to do this with my body, right? You want to do that stuff. You want to live right. You thinking better. You have a better head, mind on your shoulder. You didn't act like that before. Some people do. Some people do start and act like that way early in life. We're all different, and that's okay. That's the reason. God, we're all different parts of God. We're all different parts of light source of God. And we're different shells, and we're just showing how to still love one another differently, even, but knowing that, hey, how'd you get in that body? Oh, I got in this one because I just created it. I guess I just wanted to be like a Puerto Rican with curly hair. I don't know. God was like, yeah, you kind of made yourself. God said, you made yourself. Like I allowed you guys to have a free will to be you, to be whatever you want to be in my kingdom. And so it's to help the light source. Now, this world, Gaia says, back into the science, because I go spirituality versus religion versus science. So then go back to science. Gaia says, oh, well, the negative hijacked Earth, which you know, so we have all this bad stuff in Earth, and then we go back to religion. Religion's like, oh, well, the devil, you know, was a snake, and then did this to Eve, but Eve really fell for it, you know, and you know, we have all these different like these different theories, and then you could create your own relative one, right? And I believe that we are fighting the darkness, and the spiritual is in the behind the scenes running the physical, because then we have our antennas, right? Then we have our antennas. Some people can't even gravitate information, energetic information that's coming inside their head to another. That's how we're speaking. That's how we write. That's how you have ideas coming up. And some people are clogged. But when you can really gravitate that, then you're going to get all these different other energies. Like you either have good information, positive stuff, or you have negative, right? That's why you have to fight and let the negative just go through. And then when you keep on training your mind to just be more positive, you're ready there. A negative can't come to you. You always pray and protect yourself with white light. You'll be good. And that's what's happening back there, like with the worlds. God, I feel like as God is light and dark, I feel like God created all, and that if there's people that want to be like bad, and they choose like in the life review. Okay, back to the life review. You see all these things about your life. So it shows if you're a good soul, or like 1% not a good soul. Like you can't come to heaven if you can't let go of this world. This world is full of heartache, betrayal, insecurity, illness, disease. It's full of all this bad stuff. Now, in heaven, God doesn't judge you. You judge yourself, but God watches you and sees how you truly judge yourself. Do you truly feel like you are okay with like the person that you have become and the person that you were and da-da-da. And if you could let go of all this bad stuff, you can come into the 99% of the energetic field of heaven. You can have your own heaven, da-da-da. All your friends and family will be waiting for you, animals. It's amazing. Heaven is real.
Do you get to pick your playlist? Do I have my own soundtrack in heaven? That's important to me.
I'm sure you can. I'm sure you can, because every time somebody talks to Matt, God allows all the angels to see the future for the humans. So they allow us to also see the future. That's how he says psychic medium. He's not a psychic. He's a medium. And then the angels, that he only speaks of white light, not earthbound spirits, but the angels, God allows the angels to see the future for us.
How would you describe your belief system? Like is that mysticism or what is that exactly?
Right, and that's a good question. Thank you for asking me. I was born Catholic, you know.
Me too.
Right, like with Jesus and God, and then I've had Jehovah Witness on me, and then I had people like giving me all these different books, and I had different people like sending me all these different testaments and all this stuff. But then I was always with angels. Like my mom always taught me about angels and God, and I've heard things, I've seen silhouettes when I was younger. I've learned, Matt Frazier talks about he sees silhouettes. That's the other side. And then you would see them into your third eye. I would say I'm spiritual. I believe in science, but I believe in spirituality, but I also believe in Jesus Christ. I don't want anybody to ever tell me what to believe, because it doesn't hurt nobody and it doesn't hurt myself. It actually saves my life. My guides save my life all the time. They literally are picking me up, moving me, getting me from A to B. That's what my guides do. They make sure that I keep a flow on my positive high frequency, and they always make sure that I don't forget reality as well. So that's what my guides do. But yeah, I would say it's ominous. Like I was an A+ student in physics in senior year, and I had to go back. I had to do like regents and stuff in 10th grade because I wasn't trying. I was with the wrong crowd. I was like skipping class, whatever. But we were also going to the auditorium, and I was playing piano with my stuff, and we were just singing and stuff, and I was just playing piano. But I still was an A+ student in that class, and Mr. Nevers, I'll never forget, he would tell the principal, like, no, Joslyn, oh yeah, she's good. Because I always thought it was so interesting about how religion would be like, oh, we created 7 days with God, da 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 da, and then science like, no, it's just a Big Bang Theory. It all just happened. But it's like, what if, and I was always that person in the in-between, because I see in the in-between, and I'm like, well, what if it was both? Like, there's a gray area, right, that we don't talk about. Everybody talks about one side or the other, but they don't talk about this gray area. And one
one doesn't necessarily disprove the other. Like you can, I mean, my personal look, I was raised Catholic. My personal beliefs right now would be defined as atheist simply because
Mhm.
there's 3,000 gods and I'm not sold by any of them. So I am
Yeah.
by definition an atheist. But I do think, I think that spiritual wouldn't necessarily be wrong in describing me because I do think that I find it totally humbling that we are able to love and that it's a thing that exists and that is probably the only thing that I truly believe in. I truly believe in love. And I think it's amazing and I think it's humbling and maybe that is some kind of a link to a supreme being. Maybe it isn't. I don't know. But
That's right.
but that's kind of like that's kind of where I'm at. Um
I I like that. Can I say something real quick about
yeah,
that?
of course. Yeah, please.
That's so good that you said love. See, all humans, we're from heaven. So when we came down from heaven, we knew the feeling of love. That's all we knew. But then we came down here and we just learned all these different bad behaviors. Like somebody bullied me, and then I was like, oh, I'm going to do that back to somebody. And then I did it, and I'm like, oh, I don't like that.
Right.
Unlearn that behavior. So we learn all these crazy things, but that's what's amazing about us being the soft technology, right? You know, they want to do hybrids and stuff, or they want to do human hybrids on disabled people, especially. They want to put little invasive stuff in our brains and things for our ears, and this they already have. And what I tell you is you're not going to experience like a real human. You're just going to be observing, because humans are amazing creatures. What we are. That's why I don't want to take pills. I'd rather just be 420 friendly. We are amazing because we can love, we can understand, we can forgive. We know both sides because we've been there.
Yeah, I mean, well, we're amazing, and also, you know, our bodies are still very. I mean, you know, you were talking earlier about how you got misdiagnosed and stuff like that. Look, science and medicine has done some truly amazing things. It is absolutely mind blowing what we have accomplished. However, the human body is still a mystery, and any good doctor or scientist will acknowledge that it's like, hey, there's still so much.
Any good doctor,
and there's still sure, and there's still so many anomalies and so many exceptions and so many like, hey, something that I mean, just look at something like penicillin that has saved tons of lives. However, some people, if they take it, they will die. So it's like,
I know,
just that by itself is wild. Like it's hard to even wrap your head around.
That's so funny that you say that too, because I also heard from one of my doctors that like the genetic testing that I've done, sometimes those genes can change. And I was like, what?
Yeah, that's crazy. That's just like, wow.
Like they're out of my body.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
how are we? Then again, hold on. We're kind of connected still. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, when I see electricity, I know that there's electricity. Oh, I know that there's electricity. I know there's electricity when I pray. I know there's electricity in my brain. I know there's electricity in my heart, because science tells us, but also spirituality shows that with chakra systems, like it's real. And so I'm like, okay, does it change because we're still somehow connected, even though it seems like we're solid? We're still moving. There's still things right here in my arm. There's cells moving back and forth, like right now, back and forth. There's cells in our body moving back and forth. I've seen them before too. Like it's interesting to know that we think like everything is what it seems, but it's not. And so that's why I like to think the way I think, because really you'll start seeing more things if you believe it, and perception is a real thing towards your reality. So maybe it's moving because, I don't know, I'm moving, and it like we're connected still in the air, and the air is electricity, and, you know, we can get free electricity, but they make us pay for it, you know, stuff like that.
Yes. Getting it to the contemporary society. Well,
yeah.
Before we go too far down the philosophical rabbit hole, I do want to, you know, get a little more kind of surface stuff about you. So I know you do music, but how would you describe what you do overall? Because it's more than just making songs.
Oh yeah, like what I do now, I guess. Yeah, I've always liked to do music. I've always liked to just write songs because it helped my emotional aspect of my real life. And it really saved my life to sing. But I also I like educating people on things like about justice. Like I'm just like a justice fighter, freedom fighter. Like I'm all about like light and dark. I'm all about like just, hey, like the way, I guess. And I don't want to ever tell people what to do. I just want to show them and share them my perspective. I think that we all have different perspectives and different walks of life for reasons. We should share them so that we can be a collective consciousness to have more compassion for each other. But I just sharing my wisdom, sharing my spiritual wisdom of what I know, being a better person, of just like how we can all live, we could share the space. Like we could definitely share the space. I feel like there's more like thoughtfulness that should be into being shared out there. There's a lot of negative things that are shared, and there's people with big platforms that are sharing things that like have no use. In my opinion, I just feel like if with my platform, I rather do something amazing for the world and amazing for God. So whatever I'm doing as being a positive, vibrant light, sharing how I speak or how I think, and what I think about like society and about humanity. And I think like me having these talents and abilities is amazing just for me to lift myself up. I think that it also did attract others to look at me, but in reality, it was all just to get their attention, to be like, hey, I'm J Sky, the one-eyed singer, and this is my story. I got your attention. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. I think I'm okay though. Like, I'm okay without the crazy, like, I feel like a lot of people misjudge people a lot. Like, just because I like to do music and I've done these things. Yeah. Like, I'm a creator. Like, I like to do all these amazing, vibrant things. But at the same time, like, I get anxiety in big spaces, or like, I can't, like certain things I just can't see, or like there's certain, like, I don't need all of that attention. I use my platform for educational purposes. And if it's in the form of entertainment, so be it. But it's always for positive good, of reinforcement of like just, I don't like certain things that happen in the prisons. I don't like things that happen in the nursing homes. I think we have to shine lights on darknesses in the world so that we can have better, we can make better decisions on who next to vote for, or better decisions on who next to listen to, or like maybe how about, I don't know, listen to yourself, or how about guys, stop having them tell you not to believe your own eyes. How about that? Just think for yourself, because I think there's people out here, we have good information and good knowledge, and knowledge is power, and your voice is power too. And so people don't know that. And I feel like you just have to shine your light more. And then in being a light worker, that's what I do. So I'm a light worker, transmuting my negatives to positives in music and spoken word.
So staying in like the contemporary society, I mean, how do you feel? What is your overall take on where we are heading? Especially, I mean, you've mentioned the disabled multiple times. How do you feel about everything that's going on there? Because I personally have serious concerns, and I am very concerned for, friends and family who are disabled at various capacities. So what's your take there?
Yeah, I just saw that they're taking out $500,000 of funding for the libraries of the Braille Institute of Los Angeles. So I saw that they wanted us. Cruel. They wanted us to hit up Newsom and be like, hey, we kind of need accessibility for the blind and vision impaired that may, want some life-changing books to better their lives, for 5 minutes or 10 minutes a day. I don't know, just something to do. But yeah, I think it's crazy. I think that people already knew, like Trump, he did not like disabled people. He said he wanted to kill us, which was crazy on a video. And so I think a lot of times, like, people, like, listen to the wrong things. Like, oh, don't vote for the woman because she's a woman. I'm like, okay, but then you're going to vote for this guy knowing all the bad things, like, he said. And then they said something about he's going to help groceries, like, lower them or lower eggs. But, like, I seen them go up. I seen avocados be $2. I seen eggs be expensive. So I'm like, I don't understand where they got this, like why they thought it was better information because it came from a white man rather than a black woman, because it was the same information. And also everybody does misinformation, and they also promise the same things, but also it's just one person's representing in this color and another person's representing in this gender. And so I just think that people need to think for themselves. And like a lot of times, like it's all funding, because like I'm going blind. Like, I take treatment because there's no cure. Are you kidding? There's no cure. Like, Elon, you're making human robots. Like, you guys are making robots for people to, like, literally, like, have sexual relationships with. Like, that's where, and then it's cost $150,000. You got men that could pay $150,000 for a sex robot, but you guys don't have cures for people, like, to live their life more, to see better, to not be blind. Like that doesn't make sense to me. I don't believe it. I think that they're using their money on the wrong things, and we already know that. We already know they use their money on the wrong things. Like, it's like very negative. In this country was built on violence and mental illness and sickness, sick minds. And that's why I say that, yes, we have shown to be monsters back then. We have, but we can be more decent, better humans, knowing about these issues and these problems, right? And if we have these issues and these problems, I don't understand, like, if you know all these things and you're such a good person, why do they always make excuses? They're always making an excuse about this and that. They have the money. They try to lie to us saying they didn't have the money before COVID hit. All of a sudden 2020 hit and everybody's getting $2,000 a week, but y'all didn't have the money. Like, that don't make no sense to me. And
they had this ridiculous upward transfer of wealth, and all these wealthy people don't have to repay any of their loans, but they're still getting, that they can't possibly forgive medical debt, they can't possibly forgive student loans, they can't possibly do any of that.
No, they can't. They easily just say no, like, hey, just let it go. Like, you can easily in one blink.
They could easily do that.
Let it go. And the thing is, like, I see people with money, like $200,000 buying sex robots.
No, I mean, I hear you, and it's so.
What are you doing for humanity? Like, if I was rich, at least Beyonce donated over the 2.5 million threshold. She put $3 million in for the houses in the Palisades and in LA. At least B did that. At least with her money, she's doing something good, And so, like, if people have money, I just, like, why don't they help the poverty places? Why don't they scope out the bad people that are dehumanizing and belittling people in prisons and taking away their rights and like, you're not rehabilitating people. Why don't we do that? Like, I just
our prison system does not rehabilitate people. Absolutely
they don't.
Not. Yeah,
like,
I mean.
That's why I talk about evil and negative people. There's literally people that go into certain facilities to dehumanize people, and like, they like that because that was how they were raised. And so that's why there's just rotten people. They start from young, because even in like the cartels or like in the Mex, like the whatever, like, they start them young. So they don't know better.
Sure.
And they don't have nowhere else to go. That's how you start rotten and cruel, Like, I don't know. It's crazy. It's sad. It's like, how do you really care about America? You don't care about the people. Like, you care about like the superficial things, but they're not getting into the foundation of, like, the root problem of the situations. Like, there's like, you could make a nice poverty place real nice if you put, like, a nice gym, a nice smoothie thing. Like, really give them something too. Like, why would you give them, like, all these basketball courts? Like, really? Like, they need like 50 basketball courts and no gym, no smoothies, like no nice necessities. Like, they're human beings, like, it's very sad, like, to see, like, there's people in power that think they're doing so well for everyone, and they have all the hands on deck, they got all the mouths, like, to speak, and all the cameras in the world, but yet they already know what they're doing and they're not wanting to help.
Oh, no. I mean, I think that's really the source of it. I mean, we have a society set up, and it's not like this is anything recent. This has been years and years and years in the making, and it's just kind of coming to a head. And you have a society that's just set up to really benefit the rich and the elite. You have a couple individuals who could end homelessness in an instant. They have the wealth to do it. They don't. They could end poverty. They could give everyone health care. They just straight up choose not to. And instead, they're cutting resources for blind people at libraries. I mean, even here in California, like putting aside the federal thing, here in California, the same day that Gavin Newsom was boasting about how we're the fourth largest GDP in the world now, that same day there was a piece of news that came out that apparently they're not able to keep the animal shelter open in my neighborhood. Los Angeles, a city that should have a freaking surplus, but they don't because they mismanage all of their financial resources. They're closing. They might be closing the animal shelter. Fourth largest GDP in the world. I mean, it's just absolutely mind-blowing.
So what's happening to the animals then?
We don't know. I mean, as of the recording of this, we don't know. I mean, it's it's really sad, and yeah,
it's like, yeah. Go ahead.
What do you think is the key to overcoming all of this?
Honestly, what I've been doing, like I don't forget about my, what's happening with current events. So I will keep up in certain ways. Like I'll look at this, I'll look at certain videos I want to hear the information from. I think that find out the information the best way you can. I just don't think consuming it all the time, all day, every day. I think it's not.
Yeah, you're not helping anybody if you're burnt out.
Yeah, basically. It's not cool, and it's always so negative anyways. I think that if you just focus on what you can do in your lane, in your corner, if you just focus on what you can do to help yourself and help other people, that is all we can do. Whoever just ends up next to you, just treat people with respect and kindness. I think that's the best that we can do. Treat yourself with kindness, because I think that where it really comes down to is the people in charge within themselves. Like they don't know how to authentically show who they are, or to really like feel sympathy or empathy for what's really going down, because they're too high up that they can't come down. So I think that it's really safe for everyone, and it's a positive and beautiful thing to stay in the best condition possible. So just stay mindful, stay blessed, stay safe, stay grateful for everything you have. And I think it's about not getting what you want, but wanting what you have, right? And I think that just seeing the heaven on earth throughout the chaos, the heaven within yourself, the heaven within what you have around you, that's going to help. Keep on living your life and doing what you love to do, but knowing and acknowledging that there's still problems out there, but we can always quickly find a solution. It may not be a direct solution to that issue, but it can be a direct solution within you in that time. So saying keeping your eyes on your paper, but still being aware of your surroundings, right? I think that's really good. Don't torture yourself with all this stuff. Just knowing we are energies, whatever you put into your mind, feed the positive, feed the negative. Which one you're going to feed is stronger. So and try to listen to your own thoughts. Try to gravitate to a lot of things if you want to, different sides, and make your best decision based on your values and your opinions, your principles, your ethics. I think that it's good to know what you like and what you don't like, what you stand for. Standing for, even if you have to stand alone, I think that's important. I think that a lot of times people are afraid to, and I've learned that I've stood alone. I try to stand up for people, and they didn't stand up behind me. And what I've learned is that my value is within and not external validation. And I was better off to find my own voice and my own power of taking out the barriers in my mind of what they had tried to program into me, because I was happier. And then I seen that other people weren't as happy because they were too busy being sheep, following others on what they think, what they like, never, and always doing and never taking time to really get to know themselves and what they stand for in this world. You know, like, we're here to show ourselves, but we also have missions to do our part to make this a better humanity. You know, not just for us, but for people, for next generations to come. And it'll be better for the light source, you know, having more of good instead of evil, you know, that the burdens that God has to carry all the time, the hate, the sin that God has to carry all the time. We help, you know, the positive, the good, if you will. Stay lit.
So in closing, where can people go to learn more about you? Where can they find your music? Where can they follow you?
Yes. And simple is better, by the way. Okay. I chose health over wealth, and I will never feel guilty for that. You can find me in my own apartment on the beach at age 30.
Brilliant.
At Joslyn Sky, JOSLYN SKY. You could search it on Google, and my Instagram will show up, my YouTube will show up, my Spotify will show up, my iTunes. Anything that I was on will show up. And I just show my music, my videos, my experiences. I share about my progression, you know, going through vision loss, grieving something that you've had for a long time. And then you're just like, oh, okay, that's where we're at today. All right. Like, just don't get too close to my last center. But other than that, like, you just keep on smiling, because you can't escape. We're not going to escape this world. We're not going to go like that. We're warriors. So what warriors do is we fight for our light. So don't let anybody take away your shine and take away the core of your natural well-being, because we need that. We need more of that of you. So yeah, find me, check me out. And I have this siren ability.
All right. Joslyn, thanks so much for doing this.
Thank you for having me and thinking I'm important enough to talk to, because we all are important.
That was Joslyn Sky. Check out her stuff. Check out her music. What a wonderful, wild story. Music for the 1000 Podcast is provided by Andrew Saxon. I'll be sure to check out his podcast, the Baywatching Podcast, wherever you get your podcast. Leave us a 5-star review, would you? This is still a very new show. Every 5-star review helps. And if you want to support this show on the sustainability end, you can do so over at patreon.com/RonFlacone. For a give what you can level, you get all kinds of exclusive perks. You get free admission to my shows, sometimes, not all the time, but whenever I'm able to do that, I make that happen. We do a Zoom hangout once a month. It's a really, really cool community. You get 1,000 episodes before they're released to the public, and you get behind-the-scenes footage and full stand-up clips not available anywhere else. It's a really cool community we got going on over at Patreon, and again, that's patreon.com/RonFlacone. All right, we are 86, still millennials. 1986. If you were born in 86, you are a millennial. One of the older ones, but a millennial nonetheless. And we are, man, we're going to be at 100 before I know it. Then I'm going to be making early aughts references. It's crazy how fast this thing is going. Once we're at 100, we are officially 1/10 of the way through. And I feel like I started this series 2 weeks ago. I really do. It really makes you feel how quickly time goes. It's kind of crazy. All right, we will see you next week. Peace. Hey guys, Ron Flacone here. Take your own 1,000 challenge. No, you don't need to interview 1,000 people, although if you want to do that, go for it. Your 1,000 challenge can be whatever you want. Maybe you want to call a friend out of the blue once a week. Maybe you want to read a book every month. Maybe you want to start a different garden every season. I guess that might be dependent on where you live. Look, the point of the challenge is taking on an endeavor that enriches your life in some way, and it can be measured. And then, of course, you do it regularly. That's what 1000 is doing for me and hopefully for you too. The main reason for this podcast and every podcast I've ever done is to build community. So take your own challenge. Then join our Facebook group. It's called 1000 What's Your Challenge? ? That's 1000 What's Your Challenge ? And post about what your 1000 challenge is and the progress you're making. All I ask is that people be encouraging of each other's challenges. This is personal and vulnerable, so be cool. There's enough negativity on social media. We don't need to add to it. For those of you who aren't on Facebook, hopefully in the future we'll be expanding to places like Discord, Reddit, but for now, we're starting on Facebook. And again, that Facebook group is called 1000 What's Your Challenge? See you there.